saw the drawing. Was that Mars who did that? Because I know she really stepped up her game as far as like, I know she used to say she can't draw people or like humanoids, but she's I think this is what a little brief work was enough to kind of get her on point about that. It doesn't take much. It's cool though. Yeah. Nah, I got a list that I'm hoping to make good on this year. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Start getting some artwork done for people. Kind of fixing the hoping some cheap little commissions to start things off. Am I quiet? Really? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Music's too loud. There we go. Alright, that should make it better. Sorry, one sec. I gotta order a new auxiliary cable. Mine got messed up. Should be better. How was your New Year's? My friend, how was it? Hopefully better now. There's my tablet pen. I know you're around here. There you are. No. Hold on. Come on now. We're doing this. That's good, yeah. Good to hear. Yeah. Ours was kind of the same. A little gathering at my buddy Eric's house. Hey, Joey. How's it going tonight? Happy New Year to you. Hope you've been having a good one so far. It's made aware that it is indeed the Year of the Snake. Someone was talking about Year of the Rabbit, and I'm like, it can't be. That already happened. I figure out when the new Zodiac is here, when I start seeing more horny art, well, not horny, but more artwork than usual of certain types of creatures. That was good. That was good. Yeah, off to a hopefully peaceful start. And hopefully it stays that way. One moment. Just getting myself situated. I got these little Figma things that I always got to make sure I keep near my drawing, station. Because they're nice. They're little Figmas, like those real nice Japanese figures. But this one's basically just meant to be like a blank body. So it's meant for drawing references. Gives you a decent idea of posing. Just getting myself situated here. So yeah, just kind of a standard sort of hanging out night, I'm just gonna try and get back to some business. I thankfully didn't fall off. I think that, ironically enough, the problem has been having the Steam Deck now. And finding more games I can put on there that I haven't played yet. Hey, Usa, how are you tonight? Let me see what I got here. Just making sure. I think I'm going to upgrade my graphics card, hopefully, in the future. So, how you doing? Happy New Year to you, my friend. I was a little hungover this morning. I pumped the brakes a little earlier, so I thankfully avoided the worst of it, but I feel that. That's good, though. Good New Year. Happy New Year, John. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. As always, much appreciate everyone being here on the first of the year. But yeah, recuperating. I mean, I enjoy the holiday season, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of glad it's over for now. We can all kind of get back to business. I'm trying to get back to doing this thing that I like to do, where I just basically start throwing colors and shapes down, and I sometimes make something kind of cool out of it. Sometimes it's a big lady, sometimes it's not. It's very conflicting. It all kind of depends on where we end up. It's good. It's good for when I'm struggling, like, because, I have things that I need to draw. Or, like, I want to. I got to finish up a last-minute thing. Well, not a last-minute thing, but I got to finish up a little something for the book. The artist page, where I'm doing, like, little cartoon doodles of me and Mac, the writer. So just a little something fun for the inside cover. And then I got to get to work. And me and Henshin John's sticker. Yeah, it should be fun. Just a little something to... And then after that, I think we're off to the races and hopefully published soon. Actually, would it be weird if I did like a big Fem Venom? I've been thinking about I don't play Venom in Marvel Rivals, but I still like Venom. I am going to see the Nosferatu tomorrow. I'm still gonna try and keep like the top heavy shape though. Marvel Rivals, still a bit of an addiction, but I've slowed down on it a bit. I think Scarlet Witch is my go-to DPS. I feel like I get MVP way more often with her. I'm liking Magneto more and more. I do gotta get back on Fortnite, though. I gotta get that Godzilla skin eventually, but I'm more so excited about Kong. Scarlet Witch is actually one of my favorite fucking Marvel characters. I've always really liked her, and yeah, one of it being definitely because I thought she was pretty. But she's a cool character. I really like her, like, even without the I'm sure they're going to be releasing. Hey, Tupac, by the way, Happy New Year to you. I'm sure they're going to be doing a Scarlet Spider costume for Spider-Man. I have not bought a skin yet. I have not earned enough, and I have not been like... Okay, this might just turn into a regular Venom. I'll have to draw a Fem Venom. Like, I don't know. This is... See, this is kind of why I like the whole throwing down colors and just kind of seeing what works. Sometimes you get some pretty cool, like... You get some pretty cool shapes that sometimes fall out of you. And Venom's a character where you can kind of, like, sexualize the body a bit, and it's pretty... Magneto's cool. I like Magneto. Nice. I think I can do a little bit more with that other arm. It's true. Is Venom a Ghoulian? I don't know what the hell a Ghoulian is, but if it's sensitive to sound, yeah, probably. You know, Spawn's a character who's fascinating to me because if you think about it, outside of that movie, when I ask people what do they know about Spawn, you know, it's always kind of like he's a character who, yeah, I'm sure there have been some real good Spawn comics. Like I don't want to talk shit about that because you know, hey, Image Comics is paved the way. But it's funny to me how Spawn is a character who has existed more so out of this being a really cool design than anything else. And there's something kind of special about that. Eddie Brock has a lot of problems, okay? He's definitely a problematic fave. He's a disaster. Yeah, but it's kind of a shame though. Like that movie, you know, never got capitalized on. I mean, I think the more widely beloved thing, like the movie is iconic for, you know, like Michael J. White, yes. Most people I talk to though, it's always about John Leguizamo as Clown, because yeah, he was, and the fact that he was squatting that whole time is really funny. But like that HBO series, I don't know, like it's a fine movie. It's just one of those things that survives on nostalgia more than anything nowadays, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, just Spawn as a character has persisted so many decades. Like so many decades, like Spawn has kind of survived just based on being that movie and that HBO series, and just him being, you know, a really cool character. See, I don't know. Like, the comics keep going. I mean, there have always been Spawn comics. I just have no idea what the hell has ever come. Like, I never hear someone talk about a big arc in Spawn. You know, like, and this is might just be me, but it's like, you know, I hung around a lot of comic book dorks and stuff like that. I was one, but it was always interesting how, like, I just never really hear about any iconic, like, big arcs. And maybe that's my own fault, but it's like one of those things where I don't know. I just don't really hear many people talk about like big Spawn comic arcs. It's usually about the toys. The Super Nintendo game wasn't too bad. I know they did. I think I played that. And it was pretty all right. Like Spawn's just a cool universe. Like I think that's kind of the biggest. But then again, to be fair, it was kind of like that with the Darkness though. Like the Darkness. Like, the Darkness has some pretty good arcs, though, but it's all kind of in the beginning. I don't even know. See, like, that's the thing with a lot of those eras, like, those comics. They could still be going, and I would have no friggin' clue. I liked the Darkness, though. Probably. I mean, is the Darkness still going on? I'm still salty we never got the, conclusion to the trilogy of games, because the first Darkness game was not great. It was okay. It was a big swing. But the second game, like the second Darkness game, really friggin' good. Like, if you've never gotten a chance to play it, I recommend it. Darkness was cool. Like, you know, it's like, if you read those, Top Cow has always been kind of an interesting sort of comic book publisher. You know, they're beloved. Did anyone ever watch the Witchblade anime? I still have no idea what the hell it was about. I bought the DVD of it because I was just like, it came out. I was a horny young man, and I was like, yeah, Witchblade. And all I remember, I will say this though, you know what? Show had a good ass theme song. We got some Top Cow art books here. Witchblade is kind of an interesting series because it's another one that's kind of just like existed in pop culture, but if you talk to someone about it, like, you know, I don't really hear a whole lot of people say like something particularly like, yeah, fuck yeah, Witchblade, you know, something like that. But then again, could just be the people I'm talking to. It's just funny to think about. It's not bad. This isn't the usual beef that I draw Venom with. You know, normally I like to go real hard about, like, him being, like, obnoxiously huge, but I thought this would be kind of a fun... This is part of the fun of throwing down the, you know, just throwing down the colors and seeing what happens. Sometimes, you know, something pretty cool comes out of it. Usagi Yojimbo is like the one, like, granted that started in the 80s. That started in Albedo, which was the first, that was the original furry, like, zine, right? If I remember right. It's been a while since I've watched Down the Rabbit Hole's doc on furries, but... Love me some Usagi Yojimbo. That's definitely, like, a top tier. Got a figure somewhere, actually, that I got at ACEN, like, decades ago. Nice, nice. Yeah, I figured you were. I know you drew Usagi once. I was like, even without that, I'm gonna guess, like, just looking at Bara, I'm like, I can see Joey being a fan of Usagi Yojimbo. Fantastic comic book. I might start reading that again, like, from the beginning and try to follow it again. I have some of the trades still. Demon Mask was actually one of like my favorites. I found that at a Borders like one year, and like that's how long ago it was. But man, Demon Mask was cool because it had, like that was like the first time I'd read a Usagi thing where he like dealt with spiritual. Hulk is funny. Hulk has that funhouse mirror body. Depending on who's drawing him. Yeah, Demon Mask was cool as hell because that was like the first time I remember thinking like, oh, there's like mysticism in Usagi Yojimbo, because I knew Kappa existed. Like, because that's actually one of my favorite Usagi Yojimbo stories, and it's actually where I really learned about the Kappa. I was familiar with it at first, like I'd heard of it because of Pokemon, because Golduck is said to be a Kappa, and I had to look into what that was. But there's a particular Usagi Yojimbo story that I just love. It's in the back of one of the compilations, just a short story. And basically, Usagi's walking, he comes and he finds some cucumbers, comes across a Kappa, he thankfully has the cucumbers to give him. He runs into an old woman, and then it's like the old woman's like, oh no, I left those cucumbers there for my son, so the Kappa didn't kill him. So you get like this real sick fight between Usagi and a Kappa. And then there's like there's like a real good real good twist at the end of it that's real fun that I really liked. I mean, Stan Sakai is just top tier. I also liked when he would do some of the Turtle Soup contributions. There's a real fun one in one of the compilations I have too. I'm still figuring it out. Yeah, Jay is cool. Like, he's one that I need to read more Usagi Yojimbo because I don't know the most about him, but there was a real good story that I remember again that it's in one of the books where I think it's one of the first times Usagi runs into him, maybe. But it's like in the middle of like a storm, and they're in the middle of like a little house. He was disguised as somebody. Comes out, and there's like this real cool moment. Like, I like it when comics just sort of blatantly, sort of have like these kind of nerdy, almost like too descriptive dialogues. I love it when they deal with fighting styles. It's part of the reason I like Baki the Grappler. Like, it's always funny when you see like two characters engaged in fighting, and one of them just thinks, utilizing this ancient mystical. But there's like a great moment, and I think about this a lot. I think about this a lot whenever I'm playing any game like Dark Souls or something where weapon combat can kind of differ depending on what you're using. And I'll always remember what Usagi said about fighting Jay, where he needed to get him, now I can't remember it, of course, because I'm having a brain fart, because, I'm off to a great start. But I'll have to find it again. But there's some real good mid-fight dialogue of Usagi explaining his strategy of like how to deal with Jay, because he uses a naginata, right? Like because I don't think he uses a spear. I thought he used like more of a blade at the end. I thought that's what they're called. I'm not trying to be a weeb here, but I was thinking like I think I remember that because that was a weapon I like to use in Bushido Blade. It's a black spear? Okay, yeah, that might be on my list then. I need to get back on Usagi. One of the longest running Naginata is a polearm? Okay. Mortally strangle your badangle. Badangles. Badoggles. Yeah, because I'm mostly familiar with, like, the early Usagi stuff. So, like, the ninja... The Neko ninjas, I think. Yeah, Demon Mask was a cool arc, though. I really enjoyed that. It was a real good, like, whodunit. Plus, I always like it when he teams up with Tomo. Nilsson Ground Thumper, huh? Gonna keep cracking this anatomy. The hell screen. Is that one of the? Yeah, because I saw there was a. I could have sworn because when I used to be on Facebook more, I followed Stan Sakai, and I know there was one. I kept seeing like covers from recent Usagi Yojimbo arc that seemed like it was very mystery focused. So I was always rather curious what has been going on in the comics for the time being. Neat. Yeah, like I feel like Usagi Yojimbo is probably one of the few things that's really kind of like just sort of existing in its own bubble in the realm of comics nowadays. You know, like it's Stan Sakai doing what Stan Sakai wants, and you know that's kind of what we all want. Like he's kind of he's basically like an American manga artist. Yeah, and I mean, like, I mean that in the sense of, like, you know, he's always had control over that series. No one else has. It's never changed hands, like, permanent, like, for any sort of long term. Usagi Yojimbo has always been Stan Sakai doing Stan Sakai, you know, doing his Stan Sakai stuff. I mean, it helps that his art style has this wonderfully charming simplicity to it. Like, it's deceptive almost. Because again, once I'm like, oh, Usagi Yojimbo, there's, you know, it's all like this funny cartoon stuff. And then you see, like, him doing, like, these full blown, you know. Yeah, he is. He seems like a wonderful fella. Like, then you see, like, him doing these, you know, amazingly detailed Akira Kurosawa-esque, like, you know, battle scenes featuring hundreds of cavalry and, like, you know, like he seriously has an amazing art style that can adapt to like that kind of like stuff. It's very fascinating. Yeah, I mean, I figured Usagi's his. And I thought it was really cool because I guess Usagi does. He's supposed to be getting his own series. I haven't seen anything more about it. And who knows, you know, with the way things are, I don't know if maybe they're, you know, kind of holding off, keeping it as like something else for. Aragones is someone I really need to familiarize myself more with. I like him, I respect him, but I really need to sit down and do a dig. Like I'm familiar with his Mad comic stuff, Legend obviously, but I've always wanted to read more Gru. I have not read nearly enough Gru the Wanderer in my life. Because yeah, I'm familiar with his Mad TV or his Mad magazine stuff, but I know Gru is him really kind of just once again. He gets to be Sergio Aragones. Also, what a name and what a mustache. You just look at a man like Sergio Aragones and you just go, "Yep." That's really surprising me to hear. I would have thought they would have gotten like the Fantagraphics treatment. I mean, you're telling me there's an amazingly complete collection of Fletcher Hanks's work, but Gru the Wanderer doesn't have like a nice sort of like full cover thing. It's very shocking to me. Just artist edition. That's surprising. Yeah, I would have definitely assumed. I'm gonna switch things up. I'm kind of jumping around a lot here tonight. Hope that's all right. Really trying to get some. just because I'm looking at it, thought maybe I'd try and do a quick little speed paint of Space Godzilla. Huh. Y'all ever read any Fletcher Hanks? Very fascinating creator. Oh, Joey, you should check out Fletcher Hanks. I think you'd get some appreciation. So Fletcher Hanks is he's a very So Fletcher Hanks was a comic book artist, and the best way to describe him is Comic Tropes did a great video on him, which is where I really learned a lot about him. But he was an auteur of comics. He made comics the way he wanted to make comics, and it's God, it's like I'm trying to think, I'm just gonna have to send you a link to the Comic Tropes video because. It's like, where do you start? Basically, all of his characters he has a very strict, he just had such a particular way of telling stories and drawing. I'm really struggling to, explain it. My favorite character of him is Big Red McLean, King of the North Woods. He's a lumberjack, but he's like a mean Popeye. By which I mean, Popeye would always get into fights, because Bluto would be doing some dumb nonsense, Bluto would be causing trouble. Big Red McLean just he sees a fight happening, he decides, well, looks like I better jump right in. He just punches people and stuff. But it's you have he's like Kenshiro for the North Woods. That's why I drew that Fletcher Hanks drawing, or of Big Red McLean. He also may be responsible for the first woman superhero with Phantoma, I think is her name. She turns into she's this lady who turns into a scary ghost lady. And she can control animals and stuff like that. It's wild. Yeah, Joey, I think you should look into Fletcher Hanks. I really think you would get some appreciation just out of this. It's a very bizarre case. It's just a very bizarre thing in comics history. Just an odd boy. If you go on YouTube, Comic Tropes did a great video explaining Fletcher Hanks. That I think kind of gives that's the best way to learn about him, in my opinion. Doesn't need to be absurd. Oh no, I mean, and that's kind of the thing though. But it's I always like it when artists can. I want to be one of those people who can do that. When artists completely surprise people, where it's kind of okay. So this I don't know if people are going to necessarily agree with me on this, but. So Seth MacFarlane, on Family Guy, the way they stage fight scenes on Family Guy is better than it has any right to be. And I like when the chicken fights always, to me, after a point, represented Seth MacFarlane telling people, hey, I want to direct an action movie or something. Look, I can do it. Is this a Gorbaloza? This is a Space Godzilla that I'm trying to draw. I'm squinting at my Space Godzilla figure that I have on my shelf that I'm too lazy to get up. I don't know if anyone thought my New Year's resolutions. The Orville, what most consider the best Star Trek show to come out, even though it's not Star Trek. I mean, that's just like one thing a buddy of mine would say. Like, this is before a lot of the newer shows came out. I wonder if we're gonna. Wonder what the Godzilla news is gonna be this year. Cause, oh, is that Archie getting all wound up for? I'm gonna go mute. There we go. Sorry, dogs are being especially fussy about going out. You know how it'd be. But nah, I mean, like, well, they announced that Hideki. I don't even think that's his name, but the director of Godzilla -1 is coming back. You know, he's signed on for another Godzilla movie, so that's exciting. I'm curious what we will get in terms of MonsterVerse news. That's the thing about the MonsterVerse. Like, you know, there's going to be another Japanese Godzilla movie. Like, that's not even an issue. Like, you know that's going to happen. But as far as like the MonsterVerse goes, that is constantly in peril. I mean, if it ended, I wouldn't be like, I'd be bummed out, but I wouldn't be like, oh, you know, at least it got to end with. Actually, I think I'm going to space this out a bit more, focus on the upper body. Make it look like kind of a fighting game profile, maybe. It was good. I mean, it's arguably the best Godzilla movie like we've gotten in a long time. Like, I mean, just as far as when a Godzilla movie can somehow manage to like reach that wide of an audience, like, you know, that's pretty impressive. That's not a that's no fall. That's no small feat because you know the movies will always, you know. Well, I know this year actually is the anniversary. I believe it's the 50th anniversary of Titanosaurus. So I'm pretty interested. I mean, I like Titanosaurus. I would like to see that's a Godzilla rival, or that's a Godzilla adversary who, I think I've talked about before, who could use a little bit more time in the spotlight. Because I'm also not the biggest fan of Terror of Mechagodzilla, which was, the last of the Showa era films. Like, I think it's not. It's not bad, but it's definitely not. Well, it's outside of Titanosaurus, and some cool stuff here and there. I can't say I remember compared to, once again, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which, again, I would say is probably like, if I'm gonna recommend for anybody new to Godzilla movies, they only got time for one. They only got time for one Godzilla movie, and it's like I want to convince them to, hey, check out the rest of the series. Just tell, man, Destoroyah is a jabroni. Guy kills Godzilla once. Guy pulled a Bane. He peaked too early. I don't hate Destoroyah. I just never, got obsessed with Destoroyah. I mean, Storm Shadow's pretty cool. I think Globulus was pretty. I thought Globulus was pretty cool. Remember Globulus from G.I. Joe the movie? Nice. Nah, me and Carter Allen took. I'll bring you one, USA, at AMA. But me and Carter Allen did our part. We designed the 50th anniversary logo for King Caesar, because that was a travesty. That boy deserves better. King Caesar deserved better. I love that. That's what I mean. Again, I as much as Godzilla versus Megalon, Jaguar is like the one that I go on about the most. That's the Godzilla movie I will not shut up about. But I mean, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla literally has almost everything you could conceivably want in a Godzilla movie. I mean, you got a good human cast. You got like a genuinely memorable human character with Nambara, the Interpol agent. Then you have an amazing 2v1 fight. It's really good. And you get Godzilla pulling random Godzilla BS where he suddenly has a new power. That's why I'm sorry, everybody. In the decision of which Godzilla would win in a fight, I'm gonna say Showa Godzilla, because he's got that. He's like classic Superman, where Superman would just have a new random bullshit power in a comic. Good thing my super knitting ability came in handy today. Super hypnotism. That's what Showa Godzilla can do. I'm sorry, he's undefeatable. that particular Godzilla is undefeatable because Shin Godzilla would be about to murder him, and then something. It would be like Hell Cop. Wasn't that the show where it was I have reflecting bullets or something? I always forget. Or was it Inferno Cop? Inferno Cop was the show. I have demon-seeking missiles, but I have Reflecton. Be like, no, my anti-Godzilla beam has anti-Godzilla power on it. Yeah, I know I have started scoping out some Warhammer books, because I want to get back into Warhammer, at least from a fun. I got Rogue Trader in a Humble Bundle earlier this year. Last year. Last year. I gotta say last year now. And I'm tempted to give it a shot soon on the Steam Deck. I am having way too much fun with the Steam Deck. I finally decided to put on an emulator today. Matt making spinsies. Is that like reticulating splines in The Sims? Yeah, Shadow Man. I'm gonna look into this, and for anyone else interested, to see like tabletop simulator. Like, how hard is it to play Warhammer on there? Because it doesn't look hard. It just looks like learning how to operate tabletop sim, which I never was able to really do because I didn't take the time to learn to. I wouldn't mind figuring that out. Yeah, I mean, Games Workshop they don't mince quality when it comes to their audiobooks. I know the guy they got reading the Horus Heresy was real good. All right, that's what I forgot. His big side teeth here. Yeah, because I think that's how during the pandemic a lot of people were playing Warhammer was via tabletop sim. Like, it just seems like it's a matter of learning just how to operate the functions of the program. It's VR, which I think is kind of neat. I could see that being kind of fun. I decided to give Space Godzilla like the beefy bod. Oh yeah, well they have the audiobooks. They have tons of those, but they also have like full-blown audio plays that I've always wanted to check out. We listened to a clip of one where it was like it's more of like a recorded play than anything else, because they were fighting Tyranids, and they did a cool job with like the sound effects and stuff like that. I remember being really impressed with it. Yeah, like more of like, yeah, you're listening to a play. I like Warhammer. I just don't like a lot of people who are into Warhammer. I don't like koala bears anymore. I'm kidding. I think they're neat. I see, and I'm someone who likes Age of Sigmar, but keep in mind, I also was not around for the old times. Granted, I tend to learn everything I know about anything involving, like, the early times in fantasy is because of Total Warhammer. I haven't even played 3. Like, I am not good at those games, I've realized, so I kind of just hang out, and I think I got it on Game Pass, so thankfully no harm done. Sorry, it's a lot of messy sketches tonight, everybody. I'm trying to get loose again. Yeah, it sounds about right for the Necrons. Well, and it's like I hate it because like Nurgle looks like so much fun in that game, you know? Like the animation on the Nurglings is perfect. Here, wait. Y'all dare? I'm gonna try and draw a lady unclean. A lady. I'm gonna try and draw a lady great unclean one. Cause why not be that guy? I'm sure it's been done, but I don't want to know about it. I want to do my own. All right. Great unclean one. I gotta paint my great unclean one. How did you like Bolt Gun? I beat it. I beat it last year too, sometime like in November, I think. I thought it was pretty all right. I kind of wonder if I played on like a higher difficulty than I should have, because that ending the boss fights were all, but then again, boss fights in most of those kind of games are always gonna be. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to buy the DLC yet. I might wait till I might grab that on a sale. But it was good. I mean, again, I say they should take the Bolt Gun game engine, you know, like what they have there, and make an orc game out of it. I think we discussed that once when we were playing Helldivers, how you could basically just have it be kind of like with the Star Trek video games back in the day. I know they had like a game based off Deep Space Nine, I think, that was like, they had a game that was made by Raven Software, so it was on the Quake engine, and a lot of people really liked that game. And I think they did Klingon Honor Guard using the same engine, and it's like the sister game. You could totally do that with an orc game. It'd be great. I just really want to see other factions get some love, which I know is silly to think, but like I still think a chaos game would go really well. But with that, like again, you gotta find. Well, that's why I say orc though, because like with the chaos game, it would just be, oh, you're fighting space marines, so it's kind of the same deal. Just you're playing as characters with more spikes than usual. You're playing as characters with more spikes, you know? Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing. Like, I'm sure you'll still be fighting chaos. So I'm curious about that Rogue Trader game I got, though, because Rogue Traders are neat. I still have to play Necromunda. Anytime you pick up a gun you already have, it gives you a second barrel at the beginning. Exactly. Like, again, like, they could get downright silly with, you can basically take Bolt Gun and give it, like, cartoon logic. And there you go. There's your game. I freaking hated fighting the Great Unclean One in Bolt Gun, though. Like that boss fight was really nightmarish. I think I played the game on a higher difficulty, though. Like, I forget why. And I think I just got too far in to where I was being stubborn and I just didn't want to. Because I think I got far in the game and I ended up restarting it because I had no idea where I was. I will say this, though. I'm glad that game added in the checkpoint thing where it guides you where you need to go. Because, yeah, that was, like, real rough when I first got that game. Gotta give her the big bell. Gotta have boob maws, right? Gotta have biting. Gotta have biting. Oh yeah, they spit out. They spit out like nauseous fog. There we go. Cool, cool. Yeah, I told you my resolution. I want to get weirder with my artwork, so you know, buckle up. I guess this is me trying to break out of some funk. Yeah, fog machine boobs, except they, you know, the fog poisons you and makes you into, you know, you get to party with nerdlings, though, you know? Everyone loves nerdlings. And it's like, you know, if someone says this is heresy, my response is literally going to be, Well, yeah, I play Chaos. I am a heretic. Does the fog also produce ghost pirates? Maybe for another big boobed lady thing I'll draw. Don't worry, I'm sure this won't be. This seems to be my comfort zone. This is where I go. I'm trying to draw a clean. How you doing tonight, John? How's your Happy New Year, my friend? How are you today? Hopefully all is well. Feeling better, I hope. I hope you had a good birthday, by the way. Hoping to draw something for you soon. Ghost oh. Ghost. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna be. I better see a Scooby-Doo chase scene in that Nosferatu movie, or no stars is gonna get from me. It's my criteria for. That is my criteria for not for any movie. Does it have a Scooby-Doo style chase scene? No, then I'm not in. I hate it. Still most of the day. It's not too shabby. His eyes were orcs on a Necron ship. Their eyes do orcs breathe because Necron. Oh yeah. I mean, Necron versus Orc is about as that's a real funny team up. That's good. I mean, sometimes those kind of, you know. Some of my favorite birthdays have been the quiet ones, you know, where it's just kind of, you got some steak. Ugh. Oh, that's good. At least there's Halloween. We're going to see Nosferatu tomorrow. So I've been hearing, I finally talked to someone who didn't like it. Or they didn't, like, love it. Compared to, like, because I'm very curious what my thoughts are going to be. Because I'm getting a lot of different, you know, takes on it. Which is cool. I like that. Like, you know, the movie's got people talking, which is good. Because I've seen people who have had, like, all caps style, like, you know, like, oh my god, this is, like, an amazing film. Everyone needs to see it. And then I've talked to people who are, you know, kind of like, whatever. But I guess, you know, I'm not the most familiar with Robert Eggers, so I got a lot to learn. It's the Peter Jackson King Kong of Nosferatu. That is such a specific reference, but I get it. I'm not a fan of Jackson's Kong. It's like, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. Like, you know, it's a movie. You can tell Peter Jackson really likes King Kong, though. I don't know. I might just want to turn this into my own weird kaiju. Is that okay? I'm gonna do that. I'll draw a lady unclean one at some point, but I don't know. I'm feeling something here. Yeah, that's something immediately I think people said is that the movie is gonna definitely have, like, the movie is definitely gonna have a. John Tanium says yes, so by his will be done. I'll make like a quadruped, right? Yeah, I get why people love it. It was the basis of the best joke in Close Enough. the JG Quintel show. Daughter runs in. Dad, we watched this old movie. We watched this really old movie today. It's called King Kong. It has Jack Black in it. And it was one of those cases of, man, that is some quality. That was a good one. I really enjoyed that. I will say, though, I'm kind of in the minority of people who kind of felt like Close Enough sort of peaked too hard. And it was kind of diminishing returns after a point. Oh.
This is a reminder. Quinn shot. This is a reminder. Quinn shot.
Yeah, I totally get why people love that Kong movie, though, you know? It's funny how Kong is the one that has gotten so many child-friendly, like, cartoons, because the Kong movies typically portray him very viciously. Like, the brutality in Kong movies can be downright disturbing. Like, I've seen clips where it was one of the sequels, I think, but he, like, grabs a guy and just, like, bends him in half. And, like, yeah, you like, it's a little tiny, like, figure he's doing it to, but the way it's shot is really effective, and it's like, dang. There's a level of brutality to, like, Kong stuff that you don't see too much enacted on people, I guess. I think that's kind of the big difference, is that, you know, Kong, it's like with War of the Gargantuas, you know, the Gargantuas can literally grab people and eat them. Oh yeah, that's the thing, like, his take on Skull Island was great. And I think it's pretty much set the basis for pretty much how everyone approaches it at this point. The Peter Jackson King Kong game was very good, and I wish one day it would just get like a nice sort of like, you don't have to go the whole remaster route or anything, but let it be available so people can play it. It was a good game. Yeah, I mean, you know, he just grabs people, fucking snaps them in half. Nice. Huh. I enjoy a good period piece. It's part of why I'm pretty hyped about Nosferatu. I saw The Village. You know, ironically enough, I saw The Village, which was almost a period piece movie. It was a thriller disguised as one. I didn't like that movie. I was pretty on board with Shyamalan at that time. Like, I'm a defender of the movie Signs. Nice. Yeah, I never watched those Sherlock Holmes movies. I watched a bit of, I think, the second one while I was in a bar. It seemed mostly fun. It was some early comeback RDJ, right? Yep. Guy Ritchie's got a pretty unique little career. Did Guy Ritchie do Aladdin? Or was that like an early thing that I remember hearing? Like, did he do the live action Aladdin? I don't think he did. He did? Okay. For some reason, it's like because Guy Ritchie was he was a director who had a type, and while the Sherlock Holmes movies were a departure from that, he was still kind of doing some Guy Ritchie stuff from what I saw, like you can tell. That's interesting. Yeah, like that was kind of the thing I was thinking about with like you could probably put those movies one right after the other and I don't think anyone would ever really be able to tell like, oh yeah, this has this person's signature style of performance. It's funny to me. It's like why do you get a specific director if you're not going to let them do their director stuff? That's part of the reason those Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies still like the entire Doc Ock comes alive sequence, was genuinely just like a lot of was genuinely just a lot of Evil Dead like tracking like those style of Evil Dead shots and stuff like that. Oh well, duh. I mean, it's just I feel like you could be much cheaper and just get like a jobber director and be on your way. Trying to get better at drawing quadrupeds. Actually, I'm gonna jump to something else. I'm gonna draw that bee lady. That bee lady design is fun, and I don't draw it nearly enough. I gotta give her a name. Ah. Yes. Finally. Yes, use the emotes. I'm gonna give her honeycomb. Like... the honeycomb thing. Like, what even was that? Oh, I goofed up on its face there. I'm hoping with work being back to normal, you know, we're going to be back on our normal schedule. Things will kind of recalibrate and I'll be drawing more consistently again. Like, I don't feel I fell off, thankfully, but I definitely haven't been feeling like... I was shocked that that Luna New Year's drawing came together the way it did. Yeah, pretty much. Like, just... everything gets thrown off, you know? Your whole routine. To be fair, you think you needed that. Oh, plus, would have hated to see you stressed out about, you know, trying to balance doing that along with what it seemed like was a rough holiday season. But we got time. Got plenty of time to get back in gear, you know? Sometimes it happens. I've known artists who've taken, you know, 2-month-long breaks. And then they come back and they might take a little bit of a moment to kind of recalibrate, but then they're back on, you know, they're back on their game. Yeah, you know, like there was precedence there to take a break, I think. You're not dying now though, right? What are we gonna do about the hotel reservations? Good, good. Madison did its job, unlike some people running this place. It's a little political humor for you all. It's a little political humor for everybody. Yeah, take a stretch. Everybody take a stretch break. I don't know, man. Take your time. That's good. Yeah, I gotta get to some... So you've been keeping busy, you know. take some time. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's your lady. Have as much fun as you need with it. I like to commission people to draw their own OCs. It's a fun pleasure to bestow upon somebody. Like, I'm gonna pay you to draw your thing. That is also for me, because I like your thing. Trying to get like a weird shape for her. Shit, maybe this might be the way to go. Give her like kind of a... take a look at something. I wanted to see if I had anything. Yeah, here we go. This is something that I started noodling around with earlier sometime last year, and I never really went any more with it. Let's have some fun with this. This is sometimes what I like to do. Sometimes, like, when I'm struggling, I go back and I try to, like, prowl my archives. See if there was, like, anything that I started that... Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's like, I love to draw sea monsters. They're a favorite, even though they terrify the hell out of me, because, you know, thalassophobia and all that, but... I just think sea monsters are really friggin' cool, you know? Like, sea monsters are terrifying because you can get so otherworldly with them. You know? Like, because there's, you know, the ocean. We don't know everything that's down there. So you can, like, go with a basic idea, like, oh, here's just a big take on this particular sea creature. And it's like, yeah, it's still pretty cool. Yeah, plesiosaur. I love the plesiosaur. I think I was thinking of Legend of Dinosaur and Monster Birds. A movie that I pretty like. Exactly. I always think about that. It's what makes me think, like, you know, we know more about this. We know more about what's we know more about what's miles above us than what literally is beneath us. And that's a terrifyingly cool proposition, in my opinion. That's why Subnautica is like my favorite open world game. It's the only one that really ever gave me that, like, that particular vibe. Sounds cool. Like the word Subnautica, it is cool. How you doing tonight, Crafted? I'm fine not finding Ryle, whatever, because you know what? Got a controversial opinion. I think Cthulhu's a bit of a jabroni. I think Cthulhu's a bit of a clown. He's not the blind idiot god that, you know, Azathoth is, but we are a Shub-Nigroth family. Thank you very much. Black God of 1,000 Young. Yes, actually, I mean, I'm quite a big fan of Hastur. Nyarlathotep. And who are some of the other great old ones? Oh, Ithaqua. Ithaqua is the snowbound one. And then Yog Sothoth, I think. I'm getting my Lovecraft right. It's a lot of fun. Happy New Year to you, Crafted. Hope you're doing well tonight. So we're just kind of taking a break. I do like having a boom mic. This definitely has been like a nice sort of game changer for my audio, I think. Lets me kind of actually adjust it. Boomer mic. Ooh, honey sesame chicken. Did you bring it up for the rest of the stream? Nah, I'm kidding. You enjoy your meal. That sounds good, though. Boomer mic. I mean, I'm not quite a boomer. No, I was told I'm an entitled millennial. That's what the HR lady told me before she told us that, you know, hey, you guys should just accept the fact that you're never going to get paid as much as anyone else here and just be grateful to be having a job. Things can't get better. I have a friggin' degree in business with, like, with a focus in HR, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't think I've ever met a single good HR representative. I mean, it sounds mean, but I'm being serious. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Can't be grateful for a job you don't have. See, I don't know, like I'm looking at this, and I kind of think I like with my painting stuff. I know the goal for some people is to get away from having lines, but I like lines. I understand why people want to get away from the lines. But I really like mixing, like having, you know, pretty chunky outlines. Kind of mixed with like stuff to give it sort of a differently, like an otherworldly sort of feeling if I can. Yeah, HR, I can't say I've ever been impressed by anything HR-wise I've ever involved with. I mean, the one lady in that HR meeting I was just mentioning couldn't understand why I would pick Jaws as my favorite movie. And I'm sitting there like, I'm sorry, this is like a weird conversation. Like, why is this an issue for you? But then she tells everyone her favorite movie is the movie 300 because it's about teamwork. And I was like, are you dumb? Like, I'm not going to act like I hate the movie 300. It's alright. I mean, it's one of Zack Snyder's more competent films, I would argue. I mean, granted, you know, the source material kind of takes care of a lot of the heavy lifting, I think. But, you know, it's an alright movie. It gives you... It's what it says on the tin, and any arguments about it not being historically accurate, I don't care, because I didn't go into the movie expecting accuracy. I just went in expecting to see a bunch of cool slow motion fight scenes, and you know what? I got it. I got what I wanted out of that movie. But yeah, I'm just like 300, a movie about teamwork. Jaws has lots of teamwork in it. You got three people from different backgrounds all banding together to hunt down a shark. How is it not about teamwork, lady? What's your beef? That's an old movie. Yeah, I guess. I mean, Is that why you? Maybe that's why she didn't like it, because it reminded her she was old. Because she was probably like a child when that movie came out. But I just sometimes don't understand how people get in these positions where it's like, yes, I'm an HR representative. People are supposed to talk to me about their problems, but I'm going to be purposely off-putting and mean. It's like, well, how is this going to help solve the problem? But you can't really sit here and expect any sort of logic from any of this nonsense. So I tell people. No, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, again, though, I can't say I looked at 300 as being, oh yeah, this is a historical retelling of this battle. It's like, yeah, Spartans were garbage. Like, they were pretty shitty people. God, how many times did I see the same joke about 300 done by the same, like... It was always tonight we dine in hell, and it would always, like, the person would always have, like, a poorly drawn McDonald's in the mix. And it's like, I saw more people do that story than, like, or do that comic strip gag more than anything else. It's really funny. I mean... that's silly. Ah, yes, I remember that. What's that dog up to? What's the dog doing, I ask my dog. Wingus and Dingus right here. And don't forget about the parody movie Meet the Spartans. Remember there was a time when a parody movie was something to like be excited about? Like, oh, the Zuckers are gonna make fun of Robin Hood and it's gonna be really funny. Now, granted, I am actually all on board for the Naked Gun reboot. Because I think Liam Neeson is actually going to be... I think Liam Neeson is probably going to be a very capable comedian. Like, I can see him playing it so purposely straight, it just works on so many levels. I think I am going to get rid of this eye, though. I think it's looking a little too close. Yeah, like, he's pretty capable. Like, anytime he shows up in something, like, Liam Neeson's got some swagger to him. Like, he can deliver a line, like, a comedic line. Like, even though he wasn't, like, I could see him basically, because I actually really liked the A-Team movie. Like, I actually really enjoyed that movie. It was exactly what... It was a perfect summer movie. Because it was exactly what it said on the tin. It's like, it's the A-Team. Get a good Sharlto Copley performance. Yeah, it's a solid film.
And it's, you know, Liam Neeson's not being like a flat out comedian, but I could see him playing like a Frank Drebin character that kind of way. Maybe a little more clueless, but you know, kind of just improvising in silly ways. It's a good movie. I liked it. I watched it again later, and I was like, yeah, still just a fun, entertaining time at the movies. You know, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, getting an MMA fighter to play B.A. Baracus made perfect sense. I don't think anyone was going to complain about that. I was like, nah, he did fine. I know nothing of his MMA exploits, but he was a fine B.A. Baracus, that Quentin Rampage Jackson. Jackson. I'm excited. We're hopefully gonna. Yeah, it came. It was a moderate success. I think reviews were good, and it just never like it kind of just got caught in the middle of being it was kind of like there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes I think it's perfectly okay for a movie to come do its thing. And then maybe just kind of be fondly remembered here and there. You know, not a big budget success, but a moderately performing, action movie. Well, because I think the Liam Neeson, I think that was just a bit before Liam Neeson's shtick started to kind of, because like Taken was a big deal, The Grey was a big deal. But it seemed like the Taken movies were kind of diminishing returns. Like everyone talks about the first one, but I don't really hear much about the next ones they do. Like I think that's when we started to see. Like I know we used to kind of joke about the fact because then he had other movies that were kind of like, oh, he's a guy who has like another specific thing that he does. That's dangerous, and he's got to fight some bad guys. Isn't that the movie where he's the air marshal or something? Yeah, it's a fun little movie. It's always kind of fun when Sharlto Copley shows up in things. He's a good character actor. Like Hardcore Henry was pretty fun. It was a nice kind of multi-performance sort of thing by him. I don't think the first-person trend in movies needs to go much further. I think it's a fun little thing to have here and there. What time is it? It's about 7:34. Yeah, I think I am going to cut it early tonight. Not that anything's wrong, but yeah, I got to get, hopefully when I get back to, everything's kind of back to normal. I'm going to go to work tomorrow, kind of get back on track. decent start to some stuff though. We got B lady. I gotta work with her design more. We got this random lady. Yeah. Nah, I need to. Nah, I think I might. I think I might for the next stream. I might actually try and set up a webcam or two. 'Cause I don't know how I ended up with two, and I might try to do a traditional art stream. Because I got some watercolors, and I think that might be fun if I can figure out a good way to do it. I know Mastafran expressed how nightmarish setting up a traditional art stream can do. Thank you. Yeah, little something to just kind of get back in gear. I think I'm still dragging a little bit from yesterday. We were taking in Christmas decorations all day today. Well, not all day, but had a lot going on today. I think sometimes you got to be kind of in the good mindset to kind of relax. So it's weird. I feel weird if I don't. Oh, I got to get back on Fortnite. I haven't touched it. I gotta get back on and start grinding that battle pass so I can get me Godzilla. I need me Godzilla. But yeah, so I'll be taking streams should be back on there. I'd like to. Like, I would really love to do that. Oh, free Santa Snoop. Well, yeah, I tried to explain that, but it didn't go over well. Hell yeah. I mean, nah, my hair's thinning, man. I'm desperately trying to hold on to what I got. Not too desperately, but I am, like, trying to save what I've got left. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go for the Larry Fine look. I don't think I'm goofy. I don't think I can get that level of constant goofiness. Yes, we do, because I've been doing pretty good at Rivals. Play Fortnite tomorrow? We're going to see Nosferatu tomorrow. So I actually won't be around in the evening. Too many good games right now to play. Like, you got Marvel Rivals. Right now, just giving kind of a quick Marvel Rivals update. Scarlet Witch is definitely my DPS. I love using her to hunt down Iron Man players because fuck them. Wiener's hiding up in the sky, just sweeping, and it's like, I love playing a Scarlet Witch because you just like, you do her intangible thing, you fly up right behind them and just start draining the life out of them. And they can't get heals because they're all the way up in the sky. I did that to one in a match today with some friends, and he wasn't in the air after that. he tried to stay low to the ground because he knew this was a no-fly zone. I did pretty good as Magneto. I blocked more damage than I ever had. So I did pretty good there. I'm getting better. Like, my Adam Warlock is okay. I might switch to Mantis for healing because I hear she's a little easier. Warlock is fun. I do love pulling off the resurrection, but it's just not my particular way to play. See, Scarlet Witch is the perfect counter for Spidey because you can really shred his health real quickly. I like to play her as a flanking character whenever I can. Fly up, kind of hover down, trying to get the drop on someone. If I can take out a healer before I have to like retreat or get killed, then I usually consider it's worth it. Spidey is scary. A buddy of mine right now is like getting real good with Spider-Man, and he's picking it up. I ran into a Rocket Raccoon player today who was really good. Like, speaking of Squirrely, who was really good at like doing the wall climbs and the running and stuff. Like, we could not get a beat on this guy. He was very good at what he did. So I do have to give top marks to him. I think I am gonna look into another DPS because I like Hawkeye, but if I'm not I don't think I have the constant precision necessary to keep playing as him. So I think I might try Iron Fist. Actually, I'm also looking at Namor because I like the idea of turrets. I think that's actually pretty fun. But yeah, so no, thank y'all for joining me. I know this is kind of, I know I'm cutting the stream short, but I usually like to try and push myself to go to 9, but I'm kind of like, I'm good. Oh, I know. No, because the team I'm on, there's already 2 people playing Squirrel Girl, and I'm like, I'll let them have it. I have not gotten to play as Squirrel Girl, and I understand why. Like, watching her play, brutal. Like, just demo man. But yeah, I will see you all next time. I should be back on my normal streaming schedule, so Sundays and Wednesdays, and maybe some surprises here and there. I mean, Squirrel Girl's great to play as. I can understand entirely why everyone plays as her. A few rounds, all right, sounds good. Yeah, I might see about jumping on something. All right, everybody, take it easy. Have a good night, and have a good rest of your weekend. Week if I don't see you.